Well, howdy do. Coach Jay from Guided Steps Coaching here. And this video is actually for, don't mind me if I'm looking around. I'm at a place called Lake Rico. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you. Well, it's a nice dashboard and rock, but yeah, back there. Over there somewhere. Yep, that's Lake Rico. See the water? Beautiful. When I first got sober, this place, I haven't been here in years. It was my little getaway. I can tell people now because I hardly come here. And anyway, I digress. I have a tendency of digressing. I also got a nice haircut today. I think it's nice. I'm easily pleased if you can't tell. But I said we were going to do a video of, and don't mind the pulling up my beard thing. I like it untangled. I don't like it all knotty and whatnot. I said on a blog post we were going to be doing a video about expectations in regards to poor boundaries. And, well, here we are. Recently, I was having a conversation with my sponsor. Even though I have a ton of time in recovery, he's like my best friend now. He's an awesome dude. But we were talking about how we might do something, but we're looking for something in the end. Like, we want either gratitude, either a financial gift sometimes, or something along those lines. And then we tend to get a resentment where, well, I assume so-and-so was going to give me blah, blah, blah. However, you never communicated that. And again, that's a huge sign of a poor boundary. Because you set unrealistic expectations. If people can't read your mind, how are they going to assume you want something? Courtesy, I get it. That's a huge kicker for me. If I give something to my kids and they don't say thank you, I'm taking it back until they say thank you. That's not necessarily a poor boundary. It's more, I expect manners out of my kids. We live in a very rude, very mean, very world, and I try to do my best to give a lot of life, a lot of laughter, a lot of smiles. I don't smile that well, but I'm always smiling. But I try to give that off in life, and I try to do it with no expectations, which the Word of God also talks about. I don't know the scripture off the top of my head, but I promise you it's in there. You're doing things not to get, but you're doing it out of love. And when you're doing it out of love, the value of whatever you're giving away, if people actually realize you don't have to do this, but you're doing it out of kindness, is going to jump exponentially. It's basically taking a rolled up baseball card. I don't have any on me. I normally have baseball cards in the car because me and the kids are baseball fans, and I love baseball cards. It brings me back to my childhood, which was, well, another story for another day. It was awesome. My parents tried incredibly hard. However, what makes me so good is relating to people is I've literally been there. I've literally done it. I've had poor boundaries in relationships. And when I talk about the roller coaster relationship, I've been on the highs, I've been on the lows where you can't even see my hand anymore. And I can tell you that it's not needed. I can tell you what was missing for me was the unrealistic expectations. No, they weren't missing. They were surely there. What was missing was the communication. And that's still a work in progress for me. However, I'm no longer a doormat. I don't get mad at people for their actions because I focus on keeping my side of the street clean. Speaking of that, one thing I don't know that I will ever be able to do is freaking shave properly. It drives me up the wall. It takes me like an hour just to get this going, which it's probably going to be back, probably growing as we speak. But yeah, I promised, I was going to explain it a little bit more. The gift tag. An example of that would be, I'm going to offer to pick her kid up because I want to get a little something at the end. Not for me. I'm abstinent. TMI, but whatever. That's what I choose. But that's doing something with an unrealistic expectation. And then when it doesn't happen, you get mad. I mean, there's been tons of times where I've been nice, didn't want to at all. But I assumed I was going to get something out of it. Can you relate to that at all? Like, do a little bit of deep thinking. Like, have I ever done such and such a task for somebody thinking I was going to get this, but I didn't get that, and then I was really mad at them? Well, my friend, you're mad at them because your boundaries suck. That's a poor boundary. You might not be that way today. For the most part, I am not. Honestly, I really do everything I do out of love. That's why my coaching rates are so cheap. I love helping people. Like, I have a burning passion for it. I was actually doing it free for the longest time. Ooh, that's a yellow jacket. I don't like bees at all. I will always have a resentment towards hornets, yellow jackets, wasps, all that good stuff. What was I going to say? I don't remember. So, we're going to cut this video a tad short. Oh, I'm going to give you some more examples of doing things with a price tag. My son is starting to do a lot of stuff just to help me out, which I consider an act of love. Phenomenal. Great. I'm not going to say no. Occasionally he gets a reward for it out of the blue. Like, hey, James, here. Right there. Yeah, we have the same name. He's not a Junie, though. I'm not going to give him much of his personal information because I'm helicopter dad, overprotective. Bunch of psychos and sickos out there. Rah. But he used to do stuff like, hey, did you see what I did over there? Actually, James is a perfect example of poor boundaries back in the day. But he's addressed them, or I've addressed it with him, and I've helped him fix them. Because living and having relationships where you have poor boundaries, they might last, but they're not going to be enjoyable. They're not going to be fruitful. They're not going to be enriching whatsoever. But going back to James, he'd always look for something out of it. And again, did you see what I did over there? Yeah, sure. Thanks. Awesome job, bud. And I always meant thank you, but, being a kid, so he was like 5, 6 at the time, he'd stand there waiting like, yo, where's the reward for doing this? You didn't ask me, Dad. I knew what he was doing, because, again, I've been there, I've done it. Until probably 2 years ago, I had really crappy boundaries. The last 8 months, I've just been top down, going through every single level of my life. And let me tell you, man, just tying up these loose ends, fixing these loose ends still, because as I talk about in the Lasting Change course, you're always going to have maintenance. And with boundaries, especially where I had the poor boundaries, and I'm an addict by nature, I'm a recovering alcoholic, knock on wood. It's actually by the grace of God. I got to be careful with my tendencies, because addicts by nature have a tendency of slide, whoo, we're out the door. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, you're blessed, because it's really tough. But it's always good to reflect on what you're doing in life, where you are, think about your actions. How's that? Oh, this dude wants my spot, I'm going to move for him. And poor boundaries are one of the things for me, because I don't have rigid boundaries. I don't have porous boundaries. I have what I call flexible boundaries. Changes with the person. My kids, I have a tendency of bending over backwards for. However, now I have boundaries. For a little bit, it was tough. They've adjusted well. Because if I didn't set boundaries for them, I'm the type of person where if you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to want a glass of milk. They're going to blah, blah. And before you know it, I'm walking around stark naked with nothing in my house. It's just the type of person I am. We were raised to basically be servants because of our faith. My parents are Catholics. Actually, I think they're slowly converting to non-denominational, like getting more into the Bible, but actually, telling the person that's over there, hold on. And I'm not throwing any shade on my parents. They should, by all means, be saints canonize the whole spiel, whatever the Pope does, because they are some of the most giving people I've ever met. And I was actually talking with my sister about this today, that they don't know how to take back. They don't know how to ask. They give. And it sounds like it might be nice. However, it's very close to what I call the doormat. You always wipe your feet and step on a doormat, right? Does this sound like how you want your life to go? And it doesn't have to. You can start working on it. I'll link the course below. Go grab it. If you're reading this on the blog post, I encourage you to read the entire thing. It's a lot more organized. I literally had 10 minutes. I had to go to the store, and here's the video that I said I was going to post below because I keep my word. But yeah, if you have any questions on boundaries, contact this page works. I guess I can put that in there too. Easy enough for me. Or you can leave a comment below. You can leave a comment on YouTube. No rights to that in case YouTube gets crazy and, they want to come after a single sole individual for mentioning their name. Even though this video is going to be hosted on there, you never know nowadays. I digress yet again. I only had to digress twice. Here's the third time. I'm going to wrap this up. There's your example on boundaries. It's an 11-minute video. I meant for 3. That's the Irish and whatever else we have inside of us. I have the gift of gab. Either way, hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, follow. I'm always giving out free content, free information. If I didn't have to charge for coaching, I wouldn't. Because, again, I love doing it and I love helping people. Yeah, keep in touch. Leave a comment. Go through the course and change your life. You can start doing it today, and I'm always around to answer questions on it. Yeah, there you go. Fix your poor boundaries, or else you're going to have a crappy relationship. You don't want that, right? Toodles.